Ciel Fledge, a daughter-raising simulator, is a simulation-based visual novel similar to such works as Chinese Parents and Princess Maker. I was given the key for free by the developers, and I'm a little late getting the review out because even when rushing through the game, a single playthrough is about 21 hours long. I'm not kidding. Pros. Interesting setup and plot. You're a citizen of Ark 3, a spaceship meant to house civilians in order to avoid the threats on the surface. Ark ships are under attack by giant monsters. You're given a mysterious child that survived the destruction of Ark 5. At least on your first playthrough, you always feel like there's danger and uncertainty in the air. Also, every single person that your daughter can interact with has their own storyline. There's a lot to learn about the world that you and your daughter live on, and the lives of everyone surrounding you, meaning that the story does keep you captivated. A large variety of stats. There are main stats that help your performance along in fights and similar interactions. There are subset stats that help you specialize. For example, intelligence would be a main stat, logic would be a substat. There's a category of other stats, such as how much you choose to feed your child will influence her weight and her growth. Larger child has more stamina for activities, smaller child is cheaper. If you underfeed your child enough, she doesn't even grow to a full woman, and the game does throw lines at you to show that your child is upset about the size and body shape that they got permanently stuck with. Then there's affection, a stat that lets you influence your child and achieve the good ending, morale, mood, stamina, and stress that you got to juggle in order to keep your child healthy and alive. I really struggled with affection on my save because in order for your child to love you, you got to be lenient or spend a lot of time and money on them. But if you're too lenient, your child will become spoiled and you won't get stats as well. Music design. There are not a lot of soundtracks, but none of them have gotten boring or annoying to me in my 21 hours of playtime. Can we talk about the enormous length? The game has multiple endings, I've achieved one, and the game won't tell me out of how many. Even if you only play it once, you got 20-30 hours of content. There's a lot of detail put into the game. I took the time to translate from binary in one of the emails that the game has sent me, and it was real and accurate English sentence. I am impressed. Neutrals. Some topics and language used can raise an eyebrow for a Westerner. I repeatedly thought that the game was going somewhere else than where it was going with what was being discussed, but it is fairly innocent in the end. I'm going to blame the translation to English on this one. To give some examples, one character will not tell you if they're a boy or a girl. I thought that the game was about to throw gender politics at me, but no, it appears that said character was a vat-grown soldier with only purpose of theirs being to protect the Ark. Later on, the character is referred to as a he, so I think that the game was making fun out of them being an idol in their childhood and looking ambitious. Well, ambiguous, more like it. A seasoned war veteran turned chef tells my character, "Touch my leg, little girl," and I immediately went on thinking inappropriate things. Apparently he wanted to disclose that he's wearing prosthetics and doesn't have real legs. Cons. I had the game crash on me repeatedly and take my drivers with it until I started playing in windowed resolution that's smaller than my screen size. I had some interesting bugs. Most of them visual. For example, your character will not allow you to undress them because it's inappropriate, but if you put a dress on them, you can then take away their pants. Afterwards, you can replace the dress with a top exposing their naked bottom, as the game didn't register that a two-piece outfit should have, you know, two pieces. The battle system was confusing at first. In some instances, the game will give you such instructions as "don't make any noise." What the game means is don't use your special abilities. It is alright after the first few hours when you get used to it though. If you tapped out and got your weak progression on fast forward and an event pops up, the game will automatically accept rather than decline, or rather than waiting for you to tab back in and make the decision yourself. Overall, retailing at £17 with the amount of hours that this game provided in entertainment to me, this purchase is well worth it, in my opinion. However, it depends what experience you're looking for in your child-raising simulator. If you want a game that you can complete in one sitting that is closer to Princess Maker 1 and 2, I would suggest going with Chinese Parents. If you want a game that's slower paced, with few major endings and minor ones not weighing in as heavily, more akin to Princess Maker 5, I would go with Ciel Fledge.